Hey everybody, Monique here with Complete Transformations Dog Training, and I wanted to bring you a how-to dog training series using the same tools that we use here at Complete Transformations. One, to help you better understand the tools that we use, how we use them, and why we use them, and two, to possibly help you train your dog at home. So I thought we'd go ahead and kick it off with the prong collar, also known as the pinch collar. So that's the first misconception about this collar, is that it pinches your dog, and that's just not the case. So the way that a prong collar actually works is it evenly distributes pressure around your dog's neck to actually prevent and not cause damage to your dog. So let's pretend that this is a flat collar for a moment. So let's say you're using the flat collar for directional guidance to hold your dog back or whatever the case may be. So let's say your dog is pulling against that collar. All of that collar is going to be on the front right on the trachea, which is what's actually going to cause damage. So again, the prong collar evenly distributes that pressure and has a limit on the pressure, so that way all the pressure is not in one spot. So the way that a prong collar is actually used, again, is off of pressure and the release of pressure, and we actually use it for directional guidance. So what I mean by this is, let's say your dog is pulling forward, we'll pull back, guide them into that heel position, release the pressure. If your dog is standing, you need them in a sit, put slight pressure upwards on the collar. Once they're in position that their butt is on the ground, then we release that pressure off of the collar. So again, the prong collar works off of pressure and the release of pressure. So the prong collar that we like to use are actually, it would be the only collar we use, but unfortunately they do not make a micro prong, is the Hermspringer. So the reason that we use Hermspringer is that it's just really well made, and it's made the prong collar the way a prong collar should be made. So the tips are round and blunted, they're not pointed, which is another misconception of prong collars. So they're nice, they're round, they're really well made. Some of the cheapies at the store you might see are machined, so they're kind of machined up into like a pyramid, and they're a little rough, which might cause irritation. So again, Hermspringer is the only prong collar we use except for micros. So the other thing is that typically you see prong collars poorly fitted. So you'll see a prong collar that's hanging down really low, and the place that you should have a prong collar is actually up high right behind the neck, because that's where we get the most directional control. So prong collars, you have to actually open them to put them around your dog's neck to get a proper fit, and then you close them once they're on your dog. If you're turning it inside out and you're slipping it over your dog's head, chances are it's too big. There are newer models that have like buckles right here, or clips that you can open if it's difficult to open and open and close the links, but that's the way that a prong collar should actually open, and that is why it's actually called a pinch collar. So you have to pinch the prongs to open them. So you can see they pinch right there. Put them in one eyelet and through the other eyelet, push it through, brace, push down with your thumb, pinch it to open it. So you pinch it to open it, pinch it to close it. So we only use 3 different sizes. So we use the little tiny micros. This right here is a 2.25 gauge Hermspringer, and this is a 3 millimeter Hermspringer. So this is the biggest gauge you should need. Anything bigger than that is typically unnecessary. So I don't want to say that it's necessarily bigger gauge for bigger dog, because that's not the case. Sometimes we get Great Danes in here that will have little tiny skinny necks that we might go ahead and use a Hermspringer. If you need it just slightly, or a Hermspringer, but 2.25, if you need it just a little bit slightly bigger, the links actually come off. So you can make it smaller, make it bigger, add 1 or 2 more if you need, take 1 or 2 out if you need. Same with the 3 millimeters. So typically we use 3 millimeter for dogs that have bigger, thicker, more muscly necks, and dogs with a slimmer neck, maybe like a Doberman, will use the 2.25 gauge. So most people don't know that prong collars come in different gauges as well, so you can actually get a nice good fit on your dog, but they do come in different sizes. So the way a prong collar should be on the neck is it should fit like a wristwatch. So it should fit pretty snug, fit rest on the dog's neck up high. It shouldn't slide up and down. It shouldn't slide side to side. So it should fit kind of like a wristwatch when it's on. And in our next video, we will actually go over the proper size, proper fitting, and I'll show you a couple of different dogs so that way you can actually see what gauge might best fit your dog. So stay tuned for the next video in this series, and I will see you in video number 2.